The human mind is one of the most powerful forces shaping your life, yet much of its activity remains invisible. Every moment, your brain processes enormous amounts of information, far beyond what you consciously notice. It filters sounds, images, memories, and emotions, then constructs a version of reality that feels stable and objective. However, what you experience as reality is not a perfect recording of the world. It is an interpretation, carefully assembled by your mind, based on past experiences, beliefs, and expectations. Understanding this single idea can completely transform how you see yourself and your life. On the surface, thoughts seem to appear randomly. Some are helpful, some critical, some hopeful, and some fearful. But beneath these thoughts lies the subconscious mind, a deeper system shaped over many years. From childhood onward, repeated experiences created patterns in your brain. Encouragement may have strengthened confidence. Criticism may have planted doubt. Moments of success built motivation, while moments of failure may have built hesitation. Over time, these repeated emotional experiences formed neural pathways. Today, many of your reactions happen automatically because those pathways are well practiced. What feels like personality is often pattern. Repetition is the mechanism that turns thoughts into beliefs. Each time you think something, the associated neural connections grow slightly stronger. If you frequently think, "I am not good enough," that pathway becomes easier to access. Eventually, it feels true, not because it is objectively accurate, but because it has been rehearsed. The brain does not distinguish between constructive and destructive repetition. It simply strengthens what is practiced. In contrast, when you deliberately practice thoughts of growth, resilience, and effort, those pathways also strengthen. This is the principle of neuroplasticity. The brain adapts according to repeated experience. Attention plays a crucial role in shaping perception. Imagine attention as a spotlight in a dark room. Whatever you shine it on becomes brighter and more detailed. If you focus on mistakes, your mind magnifies flaws. If you focus on progress, your mind begins noticing improvement. Two people can experience the same situation, but interpret it differently because their attention highlights different details. This filtering process is automatic. The brain seeks consistency with existing beliefs, often ignoring evidence that contradicts them. Becoming aware of this bias allows you to gently redirect focus toward more balanced interpretations. Fear demonstrates how deeply the mind is rooted in survival. When your brain detects danger, your nervous system activates instantly. Heart rate increases, muscles tighten, and attention narrows. This fight-or-flight response once protected humans from physical threats. In modern life, however, threats are often psychological rather than physical. Uncertainty about the future, social judgment, or financial stress can trigger the same biological response. The body reacts as if the threat is immediate and physical, even when it is imagined. Chronic activation of this system leads to stress and anxiety. Learning to observe fearful thoughts without immediately believing them reduces their power. Imagination, however, reveals the positive potential of the mind. When you vividly picture a future event, your brain activates many of the same neural circuits involved in real experience. Athletes use mental rehearsal to enhance performance. They repeatedly imagine successful execution before competition. This strengthens neural pathways and reduces uncertainty. The same principle applies in daily life. When you visualize yourself handling challenges calmly or achieving goals confidently, your nervous system gradually becomes more familiar with those scenarios. Familiarity reduces fear and increases readiness. Habits show how much of life operates on autopilot. The brain prefers efficiency. When a behavior is repeated enough times, it becomes automatic. A trigger leads to a behavior, which leads to a reward. This loop strengthens through repetition. Once established, habits require little conscious effort. This efficiency allows you to perform daily tasks without constant decision-making. However, it also explains why negative habits feel difficult to change. The brain remembers the reward and resists interruption. Changing habits requires awareness of triggers and consistent repetition of alternative behaviors until new pathways become stronger than old ones. Modern environments challenge the mind's ability to focus. Constant notifications, rapid scrolling, and endless digital stimulation condition the brain to expect quick rewards. Dopamine reinforces short bursts of engagement. Over time, sustained concentration becomes more difficult. Deep thinking requires effort because the brain adapts to frequent distraction. Yet neuroplasticity remains active throughout life. When you intentionally practice focused attention, reading without interruption, working deeply on a single task, or engaging in meditation, the brain gradually strengthens its capacity for concentration. What you repeatedly practice becomes easier. Sleep is another essential factor in mental clarity. During sleep, the brain consolidates memories, processes emotional experiences, and removes metabolic waste. Without adequate rest, emotional regulation weakens, negative thinking increases, impulse control decreases, mental performance declines. The strength of the mind depends heavily on physical care. Nutrition, movement, hydration, and rest all influence cognitive and emotional stability. The mind and body are deeply interconnected systems. The relationship between thoughts and physical sensations demonstrates this connection clearly. A stressful thought can accelerate your heartbeat or create tension in your shoulders. A calming breath can reduce anxiety. Posture can influence confidence. Exercise can improve mood by releasing neurotransmitters associated with well-being. By influencing the body, you influence the mind. This two-way communication offers powerful tools for managing emotional states. Beliefs function as internal maps guiding decisions. Your beliefs about intelligence influence how you approach challenges. Your beliefs about relationships shape how you connect with others. Many of these beliefs were absorbed unconsciously from family, culture, and early experiences. Rarely were they examined critically. When you question long-held assumptions, you create space for growth. Asking whether a belief is absolutely true or simply familiar opens new possibilities. Perhaps the most empowering realization is that you are not your thoughts. Thoughts arise automatically, influenced by conditioning and memory, but you are the awareness observing them. When you notice a thought instead of immediately identifying with it, you create distance. In that space between thought and reaction lies choice. You can challenge the thought, replace it, or simply let it pass. This awareness transforms the relationship you have with your mind. The mind is not fixed. It is dynamic and adaptable. Every repeated thought strengthens a pathway. Every focused intention redirects attention. Every conscious habit gradually reshapes neural patterns. Change does not require dramatic transformation overnight. It requires consistent, intentional repetition. Small shifts in focus compound over time. A change in belief influences action. Action influences results. Ultimately, the mind will always shape your life. The question is whether it will do so unconsciously or intentionally. When you begin observing your thoughts, guiding your attention, and reinforcing empowering patterns, you step into authorship of your mental architecture. The power of the mind does not lie in eliminating all negativity. It lies in understanding how it works and choosing how to direct it. And once you understand that, transformation becomes a practice rather than a mystery.